In this video, we are going to create this whole Notes application from scratch, including this fancy looking landing page, which works awesome both in light and dark mode. We're going to implement authentication using better Auth, including the email verification, forgot your password, reset password, and also with the Google adapter. Inside of our app, we have the ability to create notebooks and notes inside of those notebooks. We have everything in the Shadcn sidebar right here, so we can just click on our note and we are opening the rich text editor, which looks really awesome both in light and dark mode, and you can here put whatever you like, so you can put everything to be bold, italic, or whatever you need to make this note look nice. We are going to build this project using this tech stack, and we are going to do it from scratch, from the creation of a GitHub repository to the deployment of the whole project. We are even going to buy this NoteForge.dev domain. This whole project is open source. You have this public GitHub repository available for you in the description below, and I really hope you're going to learn something from this video. This is something new for me as well. I've never done these long format videos before, so I'd really appreciate your feedback if this is something you'd like to see in future. And now, without further ado, let's start building this thing. First thing we are going to do is to create a new GitHub repository for our project. So we are going to name it NoteForge, and we are going to put as a description just a simple Notes app for devs. We are going to set it as public. This is open source, public, open code, and we are going to create our repository. Awesome. So now, next thing we need to do is to actually create our Next.js application. I'm inside of my projects directory in my terminal, and I'm running npx create next app latest. This one is going to install the latest version of Next.js on our machine. So we are going to name our app NoteForge. We are going to use TypeScript, ESLint, Tailwind CSS. We are not going to use sources directory. Yes for the app router, TurboPack, and we are not going to customize the import alias. So now our Next.js application is being installed. There it is. So now we can go back to our GitHub repository and we are going to add our origin from my GitHub account and my repository NoteForge. So we are going to the NoteForge directory and we are going to run the git remote add origin, and then now we can run our project and we can now open it inside of our browser, and we have here the default Next.js landing page. So now we are ready to install Shadcn. So we are going to Shadcn documentation, docs, Next.js, and we are going to run the pm dlx Shadcn latest init. We are going to use pm on this project. So we are opening a new tab inside of our terminal and running the Shadcn initialize command. We're going to choose stone for our color, and now we have everything ready and we can start installing some Shadcn components. I'm just going to add a button. We're going to add a bunch of components while we are creating different features, and now we are ready to create our landing page. So for our landing page, we are going to use one amazing library created by one amazing developer, and it is called TailArc. So this is basically a collection of modern looking marketing components, and we are going to use it to create our hero section, feature section, the call to action section, and our footer. So first one that we are going to implement is the hero section. It's not going to be this first one, but this second one. I really like this one. I think it's good for something like this, and I already prepared some text with ChatGPT for that landing page. So adding it is really easy. TailArc is using Shadcn registry. We just copy this command from here and we put it inside of our terminal. So this one is going to add all the components that we need for our application. So we can see here hero section, logo, header, text effect, animated group, and button. So now we can actually open our code for the first time. I'm using cursor, so let me just make it a little bit bigger so you can see everything like this. And we are going to close this chat sidebar. We are not going to wipe code anything. And now we can open our hero section. So it is there. Awesome. And we can go to our main default page. We're going to delete all this default stuff from Next.js, and we are going to put our hero section. So we also have our header. I'm going to add that one as well. So here I'm adding it's called, I think, hero header. Yes, there it is. Awesome. And now we're opening our project. Here it's not working because we need to restart our dev environment. We installed Shadcn and a bunch of dependencies. So now we can go back to our browser, refreshing, and we should have our hero section just like that. So this one is looking really awesome. We also have this header. Everything is already working on mobile view, so it is responsive, and that is everything that we need. So next section that we are going to implement is the feature section. So let's go on that one, features, and we are just going to use this first one that we have here. I think it is enough. We're just going to put something like notebooks, notes, and dev-friendly notes app. So let's copy this command again, and we are pasting it inside of our terminal. So we have now features 1 and card. And here, actually, the tail has one, let's say, bug. So first thing, we are going to our features 1. We are going to name it features. We don't want it to have that one inside the file name. And here we are going to put card from our Shadcn components. But card is not copied to the component/UI directory. It is actually in our root directory. So we need to move it to our UI here. I'm going to paste it. And also here we have this libutils, which needs to be updated. So it should work now. Everything should be good. And here we're just going to add that features section inside of our page. And if we go back, we have here now our feature section. And we need to remove this meet our customers. We don't need this one. So that one is in our hero section. Meet our customers. This whole section needs to be deleted. We don't need it like this. Awesome. So now we have hero section, our screenshot here. We are going to screenshot this later when we create actually our application. And here we have now feature section. We can now create our next section, and that one is call to action. So here we just need this text and get started and book a demo like action buttons. So let's add this one as well. I'm running the command, and we are adding call to action component and again button component. So call to action, this one needs to use UI button from Shadcn, and this one again added button to our root directory. I'm just going to delete that one, and let's close this open editors. Okay, nice. So now we can go to our page and here add the call to action section. Nice. So we can go here and we have that section as well. Awesome. And the last one that we need is the footer. So I'm going to the footer, and from all these footers, I think the first one is definitely the best for this kind of application. Others are really big. We're not going to have 1 million links. So I'm going to copy this footer from here and add it to our application. So that one added footer and logo component. Let's go to the footer to see if everything is all right. Everything looks good. So we can go to our page and here just add the footer. Awesome. We could maybe call it footer instead of footer section. It doesn't need to have that section part. So here, adding the footer. Nice. And we're opening our app. So now we also have our nice looking footer. And basically, we finished already our landing page. Let's just quickly implement light and dark mode. So we're going back to Shadcn. Here, we have dark mode in our sidebar, Next.js, so we are going to add the next themes dependency. adding that one. And then next thing, we need a theme provider. So we are adding that one to our components directory, theme. Oops, something happened. So this one should be the theme provider.tsx, and there we are pasting in the theme provider. And then we need to put it inside of our layout. So we are putting it here. Layout, we are wrapping up the children, putting theme provider around it, importing it from the components directory. And one last thing we need is to add our mod toggle. So I'm just going to copy this mod toggle from Shadcn and add it to our components, mod toggle.tsx, and there I'm going to paste it. We need for that one drop-down menu, so let's add also the drop-down menu. So here we added the button. We are going to add drop-down menu, adding it right now. Awesome. So now we have that component as well. I'm not sure why is this Lucid React complaining. We probably need to restart our cursor. Everything is now good. So we can go to our header and let's see where we're going to add that mod toggle. We can just add it for now here next to the login button. So let's search for the buttons, login. Here it is. Let's just add it here. Mod toggle. AI already knows what I want to do. There it is. And now if we refresh, we need to restart again our dev environment because we added a bunch of dependencies, restarting it. And if we refresh, there it is. We have now our dark mode. It is working. We have an issue here, which is coming from our theme provider. And to solve that one, we need to go to our layout and just put here the suppress hydration warning. And there it goes. We don't have that error anymore, that warning. And now we have everything working in dark mode, except this one. This is not really looking good. We should probably fix it. Let's see in the hero section what's wrong. So that's probably first to remove this one. That's probably some card that makes, is it, no, it's not hero section, it's actually feature section. So here we're looking for cards. It's probably this one. Let's remove it to see what's happening. Nope. So, but if we put their background, yeah, now it's good. Okay, so we need to just replace all the shadow sync 950 with background. And it is good. Let's see in light mode. Yes, it's looking nice in light mode also. Awesome. So we have all of our components working successfully now in light and dark mode both. And now we just need to change this text. Okay, so I copied all the text from ChatGPT. I didn't want to bother you to show you me copy pasting all the things. So now we have this text here. And of course, this is just the beginning. I'm going to work on this app. After this is probably not the final version, but we are going to deploy this one definitely in this video as it is like this. So now last things that we have are header and footer, but we are going to leave that for end of our development because we can add there different links if we create different pages. So now what we need to do is to implement better auth authentication. We are opening the better auth documentation. We are going here to docs and then to installation. So first thing we need to do is to add our better auth dependency. So we are going to our terminal and adding better auth with pm. Then we need to set our environment variable, and that one is going to be our better auth secret. So I'm going to generate a secret here, and we are going to create our .env file. And here I'm going to copy my better auth secret. This one, of course, needs to be a secret, so keep this one safe. I'm going to delete mine after I create this video. And now here we also put our better auth URL. So this one is localhost 3000, but when we move it to production, we are going to change it to our actual domain. And now we need to create our better auth instance. So this one can be inside of our root, lib, utils, it doesn't matter. So we are going to create it inside of our lib directory in our case. So I'm creating, actually we have already lib because Shadcn created it for us. So here I'm going to create auth.ts, and here we are going to paste the better auth configuration. So now here we actually need to add all of our providers. We're going to do that later, but first thing we need is to configure our database for better auth. And to do that, we are going to use Drizzle and Neon. So we need to implement Drizzle first. We are opening the Drizzle documentation, and this one to do app with Neon Postgres. This one is really good if you are starting with a Drizzle application, if you're using Postgres. So what we need to do is to install Drizzle ORM and Drizzle Kit. So we are running these pnpm add Drizzle ORM and dependency for dev, the Drizzle Kit. And now we need our Neon database serverless. So we are adding that one as well. And we don't need this pnpm.env because we are in Next.js. And then we have to set up our Neon and Drizzle ORM. So first thing we need is to create our actual Neon string variable for the connection to our Neon database. So I'm going to Neon and I'm going to log in into my account. I'm going to create a new project and I'm going to call it NoteForge. So I'm going to create that one and I'm going to click connect. So here we have my string that I need, and we are going back to our documentation in Drizzle. So that one needs to be database URL and then equals to our connection string. So I'm going to our env here, database URL, and that equals to that string from my Neon database. Now this one needs to be really safe because somebody can access your database in case somebody sees this string. And then we need our drizzle.ts inside the db/drizzle.ts. So I'm going to copy this one, and here I'm going to create a new directory called db, and there I'm opening drizzle.ts, and we're copy pasting it. We're not going to use .env because we don't need it. And here we have our database URL. That one is going to be there because we're using Next.js and server components and everything. Now, next thing, we need to declare our to-do schema. We don't need to do that. Better Auth is going to generate the schema for us. So we are going to skip this part. And now we need our Drizzle config file inside of our root directory. So I'm going to root directory. I'm creating drizzle.config.ts, and there I'm pasting the entire thing, removing again the env part for that .env dependency, and our schema is in db/schema. It is not in the sources. So now everything should work. Let's go back to the tutorial here. So now we can just generate, but we need to get back to our better auth documentation. So here now, next thing is to create our database tables. And in order to do that, we have this generate command created by better auth. And this one is really awesome. Let me show you. So here we paste it inside of our terminal, npx better auth CLI generate, and this one generates the whole schema for us. So let's see what's happening. No configuration file found. Add auth.ts. Okay, so it needs to have first the auth file. Let's return back to see what's happening. So we didn't put this drizzle adapter. My bad. So we are going to our auth.ts and I'm pasting in this drizzle adapter right here. So now it should actually work. Okay, awesome. Let's go now from scratch, generate, and this should generate auth schema.ts. Yes, it's going to create it inside of our root directory. So here, auth schema, and we have our whole schema file that we can just copy and paste to our db/schema. So inside of our db directory, creating a new file, schema.ts, and there I'm just going to paste in this entire thing from Better Auth. So now here we have actually our whole schema file, and we can run the npx drizzle kit push. So this one is going to create all the tables for us in our Neon database. And there it is, changes applied. So we can now get back to Neon. And here, when we go to our tables, we can see that we have account, session, user, verification, and all the tables that we need for our Better Auth authentication. We can continue now in the Better Auth documentation. So we created our database tables. We have that part finished. Now we need authentication methods. So first one that we're going to use is the email and password. So we are going to our auth.ts and we are going to put in email and password enabled true. Then we need our mount handler. So here we have for the Next.js this one, so I'm going to copy it. It needs to be inside the API auth, then here this all slug, and then route.ts. So I'm going here inside the app directory. It needs to be API, then auth, then like this, all, and here just route.ts. So here I'm pasting in the code from Better Auth documentation. And now we need to create our client instance. So that one is going to be inside of our lib directory, auth client.ts. We are just going there inside the lib, auth client.ts, and we are going to paste it in. And for this localhost 3000, we are going inside of our env file, and we are going to put in the next public base URL. That one is going to be, for now, localhost 3000, like this. And we are just going to use that one inside of our auth client, not auth schema, auth client here. So here we are putting in process.env next public base URL, this one, and that one should work. So now let's go back here. Now we can actually use our sign in, sign up, and everything from our auth client. So we basically finished our configuration with Better Auth. We just need to make it work with our application. Let's first create our server directory inside of our root. So that one is going to be used for our server actions. And here, first one that we're going to create is users.ts. So here we are going to create sign in and sign up that we need now for our users. And we can find that one here in the basic usage in the Better Auth documentation. So here we can see we are adding the email and password as enabled, and we can do it also through the client, but that one is not good for our case because we're using Next.js and we want to control everything from the server side. So we want the auth.api way of doing it. Here it is. So we can do it from the server side, and we are going to copy this part from here and put it here. So export const sign in user, and that one is going to receive email and password, and we are going to put it like this here. So we are going to import auth from the lib/auth, and we need to mark this one as a server action like this. So we are putting the use server flag, and now we can here actually sign in our users. So we are going to add the try and catch, and here we are going to remove this response, and we are going to return some kind of like this success true and message signed in successfully. So this one, we're going to display it inside the toast. And for our error, we're going to put, yes, just like this, we're going to send success false, and we're going to send a message here. If you can see that this e.message. This one is coming actually from Better Auth, and those messages are really, they sound real. They're not like fatal 500 error. They sound like you cannot sign in, your password is not good or something like that. And now we are going to create the sign up user. AI should now know exactly what we need. So here we are just going to add name, because we need name for our new user. There it is. And now we can just send the same, success true, signed up successfully. And now we can actually use this one on our front end. We can also remove this as response. We are not waiting for anything. We don't need any response. We are making it ourselves. And now we have our backend basically for sign in and sign up. So what we are missing is the front end. And for that, we are going back to Shadcn, and we are going to blocks, then authentication. And from here, we are going to take this simple login form. We are taking not the NPX. We need the, how do I take from here? I don't know. Let's just use this NPX. I think I can just put here P on the beginning of this command. And yes, it is working. We are going to add card again, and we added our login form, input, label, card, button. So we can now create our login page. So we're going to our app, new folder, and here we are going to create login. And we already have it. Okay. Why do we have this one? Oh, this one is already created by, I guess, by Shadcn. So let's see how is this working. I'm really surprised by this. Login. And we already have our login page. Okay, awesome. So now we are going to create here our sign up page, and we can just copy this page from here and put it inside of our sign up. So here we are now going to create a new form, sign up form, instead of the login form. And let's go to the login form. We are going to create inside of our components directory, new directory called forms. And I'm going to move the login form there because we are going to create a bunch of forms. It's really good to have some separated directory for this. And now we're there going to create signupform.tsx. So I'm going to copy and paste everything from the login form. And first, we need to add React hook forms to our login form and to make our login work. So for that, going back to Shadcn, here we have some bugs. We're going to solve them later. And we're opening the Command K is not working normally. Let's see like this. We're opening our forms. So React hook forms. And for that, we need to run the pnpm dlx Shadcn latest add form, adding it to our project. So this one is adding also Zod and everything that we need from React hook forms, and also form, button, and label components. And now to use it, it is really simple. So we are adding here inside of our login form. Let's close all other components, and we are adding here the use client, importing Zod, and creating our form schema. So for that one, we are going to put email and password. Then next thing, we need our Zod resolver and use form from React hook forms. So we are adding that one on top of our file. Then inside of our component, we're adding the form, and on submit, so adding it here, and default values for email and password are by default empty. And now we need to put in our Shadcn components. So button, form, and input going in. I'm putting them here below our other components and imports. And one last thing, we need these inputs. So I'm first going to add this form, and we have here, we are repeating some components. Let's delete those duplicates. Okay, nice. So now we are going to put here form, and we are going to close it in the end of our file like this. And let's see if it's looking still the same. We maybe changed some components. Login form, this one is on the login page, so let's check the login page. Login form, it needs to come from our forms new directory. There it is. Okay, so design looks the same. That one is good, but we need now to put in everything that we need for our form. So going back to Shadcn, we need to create it like this, and our button needs to be submit. So removing this form from here, like this, we can actually move our form inside the card content. I thought that button is actually inside the card footer, but it's not. Okay, and now we can copy this part, and instead of our label and input, we can put this whole snippet. So this one is going to be for our email. Here we are putting the example. This is your email. Maybe we don't even need this description. And now below, instead of this other password, and let's see, where is it? The input, here it is, this one. We are putting the password. Example, this is your password. Let's see how does it look. Okay, it's nice, except we have two labels, so we need to remove this password label here. Nice, and we are going to remove also these descriptions. It's really obvious that this is for the email and that this is for the password. Okay, nice, and forgot your password should be in line with our label. So I'm going to move it. Where is that? Here it is, this one. So this whole snippet, I'm putting it next to our label, and I'm moving the label inside of that snippet right here. So let's see it now. Awesome. So that is what we need. We're going to create also the forgot password functionality, and it looks really nice. So now if we click login, we are instantly calling our onSubmit, which is showing that we don't have these inputs, and that one is good. So now let's see what's the error here. So uncontrolled input to be controlled, something is happening. Okay, we're going to fix that. Let's first on submit call actually our sign in user. So we're importing sign in user method, and we're going to put here try and catch, and we're also going to create here is loading state. We are going to call it in the beginning of our onSubmit, and we are going to on finally here we are going to set it as false. So here we need Sonar, we need toast, so we are going back to Shadcn quickly, and here I'm looking for Sonar. There it is. We are just going to add it quickly to our application, run npm pmdlx Shadcn latest add Sonar, and we are going to add that toaster inside of our layout. So here I'm adding the toaster from our components UI Sonar, and now inside of our login form we can actually import this toast from Sonar, and that one is going to work. Now in our button I'm putting disabled when it's loading, and here we are going to put the loader 2 icon with size 4 and animate spin like this. Nice. Let's see if everything is working smoothly. We don't have any errors. Awesome. So now if we log in, everything, we don't have that error anymore also. So if we try something like some input like this and some password, this one needs to be type password and login. We have the model user was not found in schema object. Okay, so this one is coming actually from our drizzle adapter. We need to fix this. and I know exactly what it is. So in our schema, we need actually to export all these as a schema. So like this, export const schema, yeah, just like this. And now this one, we just go to drizzle.ts, and here we put in the schema, and we import it from our schema as well, and also to our auth. So here also we put schema, so we know exactly where is this schema coming from, and we also here import our schema. Awesome. And now let's try it again. So here we go with some email.com, and here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 login, and we should get some more normal, invalid email or password. So this one is now actually coming from our better auth, and our configuration is now working as it should. Let's go to our login form password to put this type password inside of our input, where it is. Here it is. Type should be password. Nice. And also all these hrefs should be link component from Next.js. So we are putting links everywhere. Here also, let's see if there is any more href. Nope. And this one is now complaining about something. Can I find them? Div. Everything looks good. Let's just again reload the window. It's probably some silly thing, and we don't have any more hrefs. And this one now looks good, removing all the imports that are not used, and we can actually, what is here happening? This one is deprecated. It is now actually not the email, it is z.email like this. Yes, awesome. And password is minimum 8. That is good. So this part should be now okay. And we now need to copy this entire form, put it inside of our sign up form. And here we are going to add now name. Name. Okay. And also we are going to add it here when we are signing up, and we are going to put the confirm password as well, and we need to add those fields. So here we first have our email field. We're going to leave that one to be the first. Then we have the password. Let's actually copy the password field because we want it to be type password and everything. So that one is going to be confirm password, and here also confirm your password. That should be good. And now we need our name. We're going to put that one below of the email name. Here, John Doe. That one should be good. And let's go to our sign up page. So login, sign up. We should maybe call it sign in instead of login. So here we are not putting in the sign up form in the right way. It should be again from the forms. And is it called, oh, it is not called sign up form. It is actually called login form because we copy pasted it. Where is it? Login form. Here it is. So this one should be sign up form. Okay, nice. So here it is. It's looking okay. We just need to remove this confirm your password and forgot your password from the sign up form. So forgot your password. We can remove this link from here and also this other one for confirming like this. Awesome. So we now have just a regular sign up form, except it shouldn't be login to your account. It should be sign up, and here as well. And let's see where we have. So sign up, or just maybe we can say here, create your account and enter your email below. To create an account, we can say enter your details below to create an account. Okay. And here we are going to put the link to login if we already have an account. There it is. So if you click login, we are going to login. If you click sign up, we are going to sign up. So this one is working nicely. Let's now, inside of our sign up form, on submit here. So we want to actually create our user. So we created sign up user from our server actions here. We are importing it. Let's just remove the sign in user. So now this one should create the user for us. Let's try it out. I'm going to put in my email, the orcdev@gmail.com, my name, OrcDev, and password. Let's put just anything. And I'm going to sign up. Let's see what's going to happen. So now we signed up successfully. That's nice. Let's see in Neon if I actually created my user. So here I'm clicking refresh, and there it is. It is working from the first try. Awesome. Email verified false. So we are going to create email verification later. But now if I put this one to true and save, I should be able to log in to my account. So let's try it out. We're going to log in. And here I'm typing in the orcdev@gmail.com and my password, login, and signed in successfully. It is working. Awesome. So now we need to do the redirections and everything. We are going to create some kind of dashboard where we're going to redirect our user. So let's do that. So in our app, creating a new directory called dashboard. That one is going to be for all the users that are logged in. And inside I'm creating page.tsx. We are just going to show this dashboard text, nothing else for now. So we just need to see if our user is really logged in. And we are getting back to our Better Auth documentation. So here we are now going to integrations and then next. So what we need from here is the middleware, and also we need to add one more thing to our Auth TS, and those are the next cookies. Here it is. So inside of our plugins, we need to add next cookies, and we are going back to our auth.ts. So here in the end of our auth, we are adding next cookies, and that one is imported from betterauth/nextjs. So this one is needed if you're in Next.js. We have to have this, and it needs to be the last one here inside of this auth.ts. And now we are going to add also the middleware. Here it is, copying it, and we are going to our middleware. Oh, we don't have it, sorry. So we are creating inside of our root directory middleware.ts, and here we are just pasting this one in. And here we can see the comment, this is not secure, this is the recommended approach to optimistically redirect users, and we are doing that. So we are going to add later inside each server action to check if our users are indeed logged in. So I'm going to delete all these comments, and from here also, and we can see that here our dashboard is actually protected. So if we go now inside of our application here, if we go to our dashboard, we can see actually our dashboard. So we just need now a logout button. Let's create one quickly. So we are going again to our components directory, and there we are creating logout.tsx. So that one is going to be just a simple logout button, but from Shadcn, of course, and we are going to create handle logout, and that one is going to call our auth client, and that can call the sign out function from auth client, and we are going to put this one to be outlined button like this, and also we need here to redirect our users to the landing page. So we are going to add the router from next navigation, and now this one should work. So let's see if we add it to our page dashboard here. I'm going to add the logout button. We can just say here dashboard. Okay, so we need to put use client on our logout button. That one needs to be a client component because we are using the router for redirecting. And there it is, logout. If we click it, we should be logged out now. There it is, awesome. And if we go again to the dashboard, we should be, yeah, we are now redirected basically to our back to our landing page. So that one is working. Now we can put inside of our header for this login button that needs to go to /login, this one to /signup. So we can go here to login. Now log in with our user. And we should be redirected to our dashboard. Oh, we are not actually redirecting. Okay, so we need to do that inside of our login form. So here, if success, we need to redirect to the dashboard. So here we are going to add the router from Next Navigation like this. Awesome. And now when we log in, so we should probably now be able to access the dashboard because we are logged in. Yes, but we want, in case when we are logging in, to automatically just go to our dashboard. So now when I log in, we are being redirected. We have the toast message and we redirected here. So we basically finished our better auth authentication. Now we need the forgot password functionality and the email verification for our new users. Let's do first the email verification. So we're going back to better auth documentation. Then here we're going to authentication, then email and password. And here we have the email verification. So for that one, we're just putting this whole thing inside of our auth.ts. So we are going to our auth. I'm going to close again all other files, and we are putting in the email verification. So we are basically here sending the verification email. We are going to use resend for this. So we need to install resend. Here we are in the documentation, going to Next.js Quick Start, and here we are going to install our resend dependency. So adding that one to our project, there it is. And now we need an email template. We're going to create this one on a different way. Then we need to send email using resend. So we need to create an instance of resend. We're going to do it here inside of our auth.ts. So here I'm going to import resend from resend. Come on, AI, help me out on this one. There it is. And we need to add our resend API key. I already added that one, so you take that from your resend dashboard. And now for sending the actual emails, we just need to copy this part from here. So I'm going to copy and paste it instead of this send email. And here we are going to send it to user email, and we are going to create verification email with a new tool that is called new.email. This one. That one is also created by Resend, and it is basically like a V0 for creating emails. And we're going to ask, create me an email for user verification. Like this. So now that one is generating an email for us that is looking good, that is following all the best practices, is going to have probably one big verify button on the middle of our email. Yes, there it is. Awesome. So now we can just copy and paste this one. I'm going to take this this whole code snippet, and I'm going to create inside of our components a new directory called emails. And there I'm going to create verificationemail.com. There I'm pasting in the entire thing, and I'm going to remove these preview mockup data that they're using. What? Damn, I named it .com. It should be .tsx. Sorry. And now we need to add this React email / components dependency as well. So pm add at React email components. Nice, that one is good. And we're going to create an interface user verification email props, but we are going to call this one This is a good name, verification email. I think that one is good, verification email. So it can be without the user for our props, like this. Awesome. And we are sending the user name and verification URL. So we can delete these props from here, and here just import username and verification URL. And let's see where is that one used. Here we need to remove these single quotes like this. And here we just need to remove also this user. Nice. So this one should work. Let's try it out. We also here, we need to put in the email that we actually are going to use to send from. So for this, you need to verify your own domain, or you can use this testing onboarding at resend, but you cannot use it, of course, forever. And let's now just import our verification email. So here we are sending the username and verification URL. So that URL, when it is clicked, it is automatically going to verify our user for us. So we can now put here NoteForge, and for the email, we can just put NoteForge at OrcDev.com, because I have this email associated with my resend account. And now here for the email verification, we can just say send on sign up, and that one to be true. So whenever we sign up a new user, we are going to receive this email. Let's try it out. So going back to our application, we're going here and let's log out, and we're going to sign up a new user. So now I'm going to use the OrcDev plus test@gmail.com. If you ever want to test multiple emails and you already have email inside the application, you can just use plus something, and that one is going to work. You're going to receive the emails. We're going to put OrcDev2 and here a new password. Oh, we actually forgot to put in to match these two passwords. I'm going to make it later. So now sign up, and let's see if this one is actually going to work. Sign up successfully. Nice. And now I should receive an email. We first need to change this signed up successfully to put in the toast there. Please, let's say like this, please check your email for verification. Nice. Okay. And now let's see if email was successfully received. So I'm going to my OrcDev. There it is, NoteForge. So I'm opening the email right here. I received it on my email, and I can now copy this link. But first, before that, let's go to Neon. Here I'm going to refresh. So we have OrcDev2 and email verified is false. So now if I go here and paste in that link, something happened. I saw some error, but let's see if it's actually verified. Yes, email verified true. So this one is working. Awesome. And now I can go back to login screen, the OrcDev@gmail.com, actually plus test@gmail.com. And when I type in my password, that one is working. We are successfully going to the dashboard. So our email verification is successfully implemented. Awesome. Next thing we need to do is the forgot password and reset password functionality. So we are going back to the documentation here. Now in the same section for email and password, we have this request password reset. So we are going to put this one inside of our email and password provider. So we are putting in send reset password, and that one is going again inside the auth.ts. So that one is going here. Send reset password. So we need now to generate a new email reset password. So we are going back to new email, and we are going to tell create me now an email password reset, like this. And while that one is being created, we can go here and remove some of these things that are not used, like this one. So this email, we can go to our emails here, create reset email.tsx, not .com this time. And here we are going to copy paste from here. So here it is, reset your password with just a simple button. So we are going to copy and paste that one inside. Again, removing the mock data and this as well. And we are going to put a new interface where we are sending username, reset URL, and request time. And maybe we don't need that request time, but let's just let it be there. So now also single quotes, replacing those so we don't have these warnings. Nice, no warnings in this file. And we can now go back to auth and send the password reset email. So let's just import it from here. We can remove also this request and token. That one is not needed. We have everything inside the URL. And this one, like this. Nice. So we are now sending here our username, request time, and new date, transferring it to local string. So this one looks good. We are sending it from the same email. Subject is reset your password. So this one should be good. Let's now go to our sign up form. And we are going to copy paste, maybe actually better login form because that one is smaller. And we are going to create two new forms. One is reset password form .tsx. I'm copy and pasting this here, and instead of login form, we're going to call it reset password form. And the other one is the forgot password form.tsx, and also copying it here and now changing the name. And now for each of these forms, we need to create separated pages. So here we're creating forgot password and inside page.tsx. So we're going to steal again from the login page, this one, and putting it here, but instead of the login form, we're putting forgot password form. That is going to come from the same forms directory. And same for the reset password, new directory, reset password. I'm going to copy paste this one, creating page.tsx and pasting it in, reset password form, also importing it from our forms directory. And now we can open here. If we go, let's say first, if we log out, inside of our login form, we have that forgot your password. We need to lead that to forgot password here. And in the sign up, I don't know if we have the same thing. No. Okay, so only in the login form. So now if we go here and forgot your password, we are going to our new form. So this is forgot password screen. And there we're just going to type in our email. So we are going to forgot password form and we are going to this password. We don't need that one. We are removing the password and also here the password input like this. Nice. So if you go here, we have only the email. We are also going to remove the login with Google, hold this part from here. And I forgot about one div. And this sign up, we can leave this one. And also here, instead of login, we're saying forgot your password and enter your email below to reset your password. And we can also remove this router push dashboard because we are not going to redirect our users anywhere. They're going to stay here and receive an email, which is later going to redirect them. So now we are going to put in, instead of this await sign-in user here, we are going to put like this, error equals to auth client, and then forget password, like this. And we are going to send our email. So now here, instead of these responses, we are going to put error like this, but AI keeps destroying me. And we are just going to put toast, and he already changed the text. Nice, we're just going to put error here for the message, and this one should work. Let's just see why our is loading is not used. Submit. We lost our button from some reason. Yes, okay. So we need our button back. I probably deleted it somehow when I removed a bunch of unnecessary stuff. Okay, we have reset password button, don't have an account, is going to sign up. Good. So now I'm putting in my the orcdev@gmail.com original email that I used. Please check your email for a password reset link. Nice. So I'm going to my email. I can delete this verification email. That's the old one. And I should now receive here it is, reset your password. So hi OrcDev, we received a request to reset your password at that time, and I need to click this link. Okay, so I'm copying this link, and this one should lead us to the reset password page, but I think I forgot to add that one here. So on submit, we should put here, yes, redirect to reset password. I'm not sure what is going to happen now. Let's try it out. So now if I put in, yeah, it's not good. So let's do it again. Going again, login, forgot my password, the orcdev@gmail.com, reset password. And now I should receive again that same email, deleting this one. Here it is. I'm copying again the link and pasting it inside. So let's see. Nice. So now we are on our reset password page, and as you can see, we have this token equals to this hash code. So we can actually use this to reset our password. But of course, we need to change first our form. So let's go there to our reset password form, and here we are going to put, instead of the email, we want password and confirm password like this. Yes, and then here we are going to remove this whole email, this one, and we are going to remove also this link for forgot your password, because if somebody is here, I guess he knows he forgot his password. And now adding totally new field, and that one is for confirm password. And here on our on submit, we're going to call the auth client, and that one is going to use reset password. We are putting in the new password, and we have to send our token. And we have our token, as you remember, here as our search params, so we are going to search it from here. So search params, use search params from next navigation, and we have the token as our search params here. So now we can just send that one inside of our auth client reset password, and we're here also going to do the same thing. We're going to call this error, and we are just going to check here. If we don't have error, we're going to put password reset successfully and router push to login if we successfully reset our password. So here we just need to change our text, reset your password, enter new password below to reset your password. Awesome. And for this confirm password, we need to check if values are equal, and we are just going to put in the toast and return and do nothing. And let's do that also for the sign up form. So here, nice, there it is. So let's test it out. Going now here, reset your password. Oh, we need to remove this login with Google also. We don't need this button. Nice. Okay, putting now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's try it out. Good, so this part is working. Deleting one. Login. Oh, this one needs to be reset password. Password reset successfully. Nice. Let's just change this login to reset password. And now we can try it out. So the orcdev@gmail.com and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Login. Let's see if this is my new password, and signing successfully. Nice. So we have completely implemented Better Auth. We have just one small thing, and that's the Google login. So let's go back to Better Auth documentation once more, and we are going here in the authentication to Google. There it is. So first thing we need to do is to get our Google credentials. So in order to do that, we're going to the Google Cloud Console, and here we need to create, I already created a project, so you create here the project for you, and you go to credentials. Then here you're going to see this, that you need to configure your consent screen. So you need to do this. We are going to get started. We are typing in the app name, NoteForge, support email, then next. Here you're putting external, next. Then for the contact information, I am just going to put my OrcDev Gmail and then go next. And here you just agree and continue. Create. So here now we created a consent for our Auth, and now we can just create our Auth client. So here, what you need to do, you need to put in the web application. We are going to name it again NoteForge, and we need to authorize redirect URL. And you have that inside the Better Auth here. So you see they place here what you need to put there, and we are just going to copy it and put it inside of our Google console. So here we are adding that redirect URL, and we are just going to create it. So now from this, you're getting your client ID and your client secret, and you put this inside of your env file in order for Google authentication to work. I place those credentials inside of my env file, and next thing we need to do is to put these social providers, so Google, inside of our auth.ts. So we are going back there, and I'm going to put here social providers, then Google, and I have these env variables. So this one should now work. We just need to put in sign in with Google from our Auth client. So we are going to put this sign in inside of our login form, for example. So here we need our sign in function like this, and we are going to import Auth client, and we can now actually log in through Google. So here, login with Google, we are just going to put on-click sign in, and this one is going to be type button because this is going to activate our form in case we click it. So now if we go back to our application, and if I log out, we go to login, and here login with Google. That one is leading us to the Google authentication page. So now if I click to log in with my email, we are getting in, sign in to NoteForge, and we are automatically signed in. So now if we go to the dashboard, it should work. Yes, so we are logged in and our Google authentication is working correctly. We just need to redirect, and that's the only thing left. And that is easy. Inside of this function, we just need to put in the callback URL, and that one is going to lead to /dashboard. So whoever logs in is going to the dashboard. And we're also going to copy this function inside of the sign up form. So here, not here, but here, we're going to put it like this. We're going to call it sign up, and we're going to import auth client and use it on our Google button. So here we're putting on click sign up and type button. So we don't even need to test this one out. This is definitely going to work. And we have successfully implemented our Better Auth implementation. So we can now move on to our dashboard. First thing we're going to do here is to create the sidebar. So we are going back to Shadcn blocks, and here sidebar. The one that we need is this one with collapsible sections, because we want multiple notebooks to have them here, and when we click collapse, then we are going to have a bunch of notes from that notebook. So I'm going to take this one, npx Shadcn add sidebar number 2, and I'm going to put it to our project. So now we are adding a bunch of components. Let's see what are we going to get. So we are adding, we have the file page.tsx, and would we like to overwrite it? No. So we are adding here app sidebar, search form, version switcher, sidebar, separator, bunch of components. So we see that we have now sheet, tooltip, skeleton, breadcrumb. We really added a lot of components, and the reason why I didn't overwrite my page, I don't know which page it was. We already have our landing page created, so it would be bad for us now to overwrite it. So we are now going to our dashboard page, dashboard, this one. I'm going to close all other files and here as well. And we are going to create inside of our app dashboard the layout.tsx file. And there we are going to add our sidebar. So let's check our sidebar. We are going to app sidebar and collapsible is missing. That's interesting. Let's go here to collapsible and just add it quickly to our UI directory. There it is. And now we can check here. This one should disappear. There it is. So we can just import this app sidebar inside of our layout to see how it looks like this. Importing it. And now if we go back to our application, we need to use sidebar. Use sidebar must be used within a sidebar provider. So to explain you this, we need to go to sidebar. So here we can see how sidebar is implemented. So we have here the structure, and inside of our layout, we need to have this sidebar provider, and there we need to put our app sidebar. So we can then put sidebar trigger and all the things wherever we want. So we are just going to use this part from here and put it inside of our layout file. So here we are adding the sidebar trigger and sidebar provider like this. And if we check here, sidebar, app sidebar is actually built by us, but this one we are fortunate enough to have that block inside of Shadcn. So let's check how is it looking now. Now we have actually our sidebar, which is working normally. And we have also this part here. We're going to change it a little bit, but this one for now looks fine. What we need to do now is to make this look much better. So we're going to create a component that we are going to call page wrapper.tsx. So here we are going to put in the children. So we are going to pass in everything that is going to be inside of our other pages inside the dashboard. And we are going to put breadcrumbs. So we need our interface for this one. And we are going to receive not the title, but we are going to say breadcrumbs, and that one is going to receive label and href. So this one is good, and we are going to pass it here. So we are going to the breadcrumbs in Shadcn to see the usage of breadcrumbs. So we need to add this one. So we are importing our breadcrumbs component here, and we are going to just put it inside of our component. Here is the usage. We are going to put it here like this. Nice, but we are going to do it dynamically. So here we are going to map through our breadcrumbs and put in all the labels and hrefs here like this. We can remove the breadcrumb page and breadcrumb separator. We don't need those. And let's just put it like that. Here we're going to call this one header because this is basically the header. It's going to be on top. And let's just put it inside of our dashboard page. I don't know if it's this one. Yes, it is. So instead of this div, we're going to put page wrapper, import it, and let's see how does it look. So if we go back, we can see that we have now here our dashboard here, which is a breadcrumb. Then we are going to put the wrapper div around this header, and I'm going to move the children outside of the header because we want the header to be on top and children below. So this flex call is actually going to work inside of this div. And inside of our header, we're going to put flex, items center, gap of 4, little bit of padding here and there. So let's see how is it looking now. I think it's much better. It's just this trigger needs to be inside here. So here we are going to put the sidebar trigger. We can call it now because we are inside that sidebar provider, and in our layout, we are going to remove that trigger. So now trigger is actually going here. So this one now looks much better. So let's handle also this content a little bit. We are going to put here max width of, let's say, 7XL and MX auto, and also a little bit of padding, let's say 6 pixels. There it is. I think this one looks much nicer, but we're going to put this actually here to wrap up the children again, like this. And now we are not moving our top header from here, so we can use the sidebar trigger, and we have our content now moved a little bit from our sidebar, and it is looking much better. So now we want also to put here this logout button. And to do that, we're going to put here the logout component that we created, and we'll need to change a little bit everything, because currently our whole layout is really small. So here I'm going to put, instead of this one, flex, then flex 1, and something like this. So let's see how does it look. It should now be bigger. So if we use our famous border here, we can test it out, so we can see that it is really small. So we need to put inside of our layout here, we need to put also flex 1, like this. And now our whole layout is really big, so we can move this logout in the right corner. So going here, and we're going to put justify between and with full. Maybe we don't even need with full. Let's try it out. And here we're going to wrap up the sidebar trigger and breadcrumbs inside of one div. That one is just going to be flex item center gap 4, and we can remove the gap here, and let's check it out. Nice. So now our logout button is in the top right corner, and this one is here, but our padding is not working well, so we are going to put here inside of our header. Something like this. Let's try it out. So now it's a little bit better, except this logout is looking really ugly, so we are going to put also, let's just put padding of 4, and I think this is now much better. So let's now remove our border, and we can add border bottom to our header, and that one is probably going to look nice. Yes. So this one is great. We have our sidebar trigger, we have our breadcrumbs, logout button. Let's just add next to the logout button here the mode toggle for light and dark mode. So here adding the mode toggle, this one. So now we can also change to light and dark mode and test out everything properly. And it is time now to start with our actual features, and that is the ability to create notebooks, and inside of those notebooks our notes. So to do that, we are going to create inside of our server directory the new file, and we are going to call it notebooks.ts. And here we are going to create all the server actions, but before that, let's close all the files. We are going to our schema file, and here we are going to create new tables. So first one is going to be called notebooks, and that one is going to have, so we need name of that notebook. We need to assign user ID to that notebook, because we need to know who is this notebook coming from. And also we need that notes table, so we are going to create new notes. AI already knows what we want. So we have here title for our note, we have content, which is in this case text, but we don't want that one. We want it to be JSON, because we are going to use Tiptap rich text editor, and we are going to save actually here JSON from it, so we are going to see it later. And we are assigning notebook ID, so we know to which notebook is this note associated. And we also need to create our relations, so notebook relations like this. So one notebook can have many notes, And also here, one node can have only one notebook. And we also need here user to put in the relation for our notebooks. So now if we want to make a query to get the notebook with our user and with all the nodes, we can do it easily. And also the same thing for our nodes. When we are getting a node, we can get our notebook together with that node inside of one query. So this one looks good for now. If we need, we are going to add additional columns or something. And only thing left is to create types for each of these tables. So we are going to do it both for nodes and notebooks. So we are going to use this inside of our frontend to know what can we expect inside of our notebook data. So we are later also going to add additional types, but let's just leave it as it is now. And now we can go back to our notebooks.ts file, which is going to be basically CRUD for our notebooks. So we are putting in the flag use server, and we are going to create notebook. So that's the first one. It's C out of CRUD, and we are going to import their DB, also notebooks out of our schema, and we are going to put in try catch like this. Awesome. And also we want here our auth that is coming basically from better auth, and we are getting our user ID out of there, and we are assigning it to our notebook. Now we have this warning here where we are basically missing the ID, and the way to fix that is really easy. So we are going to our schema again, and here for our notebooks where we are exporting type notebook, we are going to export type insert notebook like this. So we are doing the insert, and we are going to pass the data basically here. So we are going to call it values, and we are going to call the insert notebook type, and just use it for our notebook right here. So we don't even need to do this. We could just do something like this. So we are basically passing both the user ID and the name of our notebook. And now we don't have the warning. We can just do it easily like this. And we don't even need this user ID. We can also delete this part because we are definitely, when we create our notebook, we can pass actually our user ID because we have it there with our Auth client. And let's just leave it like this. So create notebook, and we can return this notebook created successfully, success true, and this success false. So we can use that later in our toast messages. Now we need our get notebooks. So we are going to just get all notebooks by our user. So here we actually need our user and our session to get it by our user ID. So here, let's check if we actually have that user, import everything, if not user ID, like this. And we're getting the user from the notebooks where user ID equals this one. So let's see, what is it complaining about? It's declared 2 times. So here it should be notebooks by user, and we are sending that one back to our front end. So this is getting the notebooks. Now we need our update. So export const get notebook by ID. We can also create this one. So we're definitely going to use it. And now update. So here we're also sending the insert notebook, and we are updating the notebook with whatever values we are sending in. And here delete. That one is simple. So we are just sending the notebook ID, and we are deleting that notebook by ID. So this should be it. This is enough for now. If we need something, we are going to fix it. This error here is, it is defined but never used. So we can even remove this part. We are going to remove it from each catch. We are not using it. We are returning manually our error messages. And now we can actually go to our front-end parts. We are going to our dashboard back again. And here we are going to create, something like this. So notebooks, we can create that one on our dashboard and inside of our components. So here we are creating notebooks.tsx, and here we are going to display all the notebooks. But before that, inside of our page, we are going to get all the notebooks. So here we're going to make this function async. So this is our server component, and we're going to get the notebooks from our server action by our user. So here in get notebooks, we are already calling our session, and we should get all the notebooks from our user. So we can now pass that one to our notebooks here. And even we don't need to do it yet. Let's just go through them. So notebooks, if success, then we are just going to map through our notebooks like this. Nice. So here we can just put these question marks to check if we have our notebooks actually here. Nice. So we can delete this one for now. And I totally forgot that we need to call drizzle kit push. So we push all these tables inside of our neon. So let's go to our neon back here. And when this one finishes, there it is. We can refresh, actually refresh here. And we have notes and notebooks. Nice. So we have our tables, and we can now actually insert something into these tables. So let's do that one. We can do it just manually. So we can take my user ID from this OrcDev one. So it's this one, and we can go to notebooks, and here add a record. I'm going to put name test, user ID this one, and create that. We can just put today and update that as well. Nice. So now we save one change. Oh, it needs to have some ID. Let's just put the user ID or something, change it a little bit. Nice. So now we should actually get that notebook on my landing page. So I'm refreshing the screen. Something is happening. There it is. Okay. And we're not getting anything. Actually we are. It's this test right here. So we're already getting everything from our database. Server actions are working. Let's just remove this logout. We don't need it anymore. So here we have our notebooks. Let's change this age one here. So we can now create cards out of these notebooks and make the feature to create notes inside of our notebooks. But first, let's create a button here so we can create our notebooks and not to hard code it through Neon. So to do that, we're going to use the dialog. So here I'm searching for dialog inside of the Shadcn documentation. So we are going to use this one. We're just going to put in the dialog where we can create our own notebook. So we are adding this to our application, adding the dependency for the dialog. There it is. Awesome. So now we can actually use it. So here I'm going to create one component inside of components here. So it's going to be called, let's just call it create notebook.tsx. We can also call it create notebook button because it's going to be just one button, and export it here like this. It's going to be a button from Shadcn, and we're also going to put the dialog here. This is going to be a client component because we are going to use a bunch of things like state for loading and things like that. And now we are going to use from here the usage for our dialog. We are just going to put it here like this. And instead of this trigger, we are going to put a button, create notebook, and put as child on this trigger like this. Nice. And here now we need, again, our forms. So we are going here back into our forms. So this is one more reason why it needs to be a client component. So we are adding all the things the same like for our login, sign up, etc., and forgot password and all the things. So we're putting in a form schema, which is going to be, in our case, just name. So like this. Awesome. Now next thing is, again, this auto-resolver and use form. And people ask me if I'm always doing this thing from scratch like this. And I really do. I don't know. I love to use documentation. Let's say I'm old school, and AI still is not really good in doing these things. So I don't trust him enough to do it instead of me. And now we're adding here, so all the components, we have already the button. We are going to add the input and also all these form thingies. And now we are adding our actual form. So we are going to put it inside of our content right here. The entire form, instead of username, we're putting the name, and here my notebook for our placeholder, and here we can just say create on this submit. So let's see how does it look. We're going to put it on our page. Let's put it here. So I'm going to put it, yeah, we can just put it right here. We're probably not going to leave notebooks on our dashboard page, but let's see. So we have create notebook, and it is opening our dialog. We just need to change this text of our title. So it's create notebook, create a new notebook to store your notes. That one sounds good enough. And here it is. So now on submit here, we want to create our notebooks out of these values. And as we can see here, AI is now doing the right things. So for toast, for all the things, awesome. And we want here to get our user ID. So we need our auth client for that one. So let's get it here. User ID equals, so it's auth client. And then from here, we are getting our session. And out of that, we can get actually our user ID. Data, I think it is like this. And then data user ID. Whoops, what happened? Yeah, this one now looks good. So we are putting in the user ID. Let's see what is it complaining. It can be undefined. So if not user, we are just going to return it here. Awesome. And now here we have this error because property ID is missing. So that's the problem that we kind of solved with that insert notebook, but we need to solve it for real inside. So something like this, crypto random UUID, but we need to do it on schema level. So here inside of our notebooks, I'm going to put default like this to be the generate random UUID. And we are going to do the same thing for our primary key inside of our notes table. So now we need to actually run again migrations. So let's go back to our Neon, and we're going to drop these notebooks and notes as well. So we can still do this now because we don't have any data. It would be different if we had. And now we can run again drizzle kit push. So now that's going to push our new changes to database. There it is. Awesome. Now we should here have, yeah, we have all the tables, and back in our create notebook button, we don't have any more problems, and we can actually send the values to our create notebook function. And now here we can just put, we already have toast success, form reset, and we're going to add quickly the loading. So is loading with use state like this, and we are going to add is open. So we close the dialog when we successfully add our notebook. So here in dialog, we are putting is open and an open change, set is open. So after our success, we're going to set is open to false, and also set is loading to false after everything is done. And let's just put try catch also here, just in case. So like this, and also here some catch, and after finally we're going to put set is loading to false. Nice. So now we can here disable our button while it is loading, and here we can put some nice loader too with size 4 and animate spin. Nice. And let's test it out. So we're going back to our application. Here I'm going to refresh and something is happening, some errors. I don't know what's happening. No, it's actually good. No notebooks found. Okay, create notebook. Notebook, let's just call it orcs. Create. Looks nice for now. And notebook created successfully. We didn't refresh, so I need to refresh myself. And we can see our notebook here. So let's just add also after success. So here after set is open false, we're going to put router refresh. And let's just here call that router from the next navigation, this one. Awesome. And now when we create a second notebook, let's call it elves, create. We have the loading screen, we have the toast, and we displayed here our 2 notebooks. So this is a great start. Let's now quickly create CRUD for our nodes. So we are going to notebook server, we are going to copy paste everything and creating new nodes.ts file. I'm just pasting in entire CRUD. We can just use exactly the same things, but we are going to change all notebook names to actually note. So here, instead of get notebooks, we are putting get notes, and I hate when AI is not doing the right thing. So here, then notebooks by user. Here, instead of notebooks by user, we are going to say notes like this. And here, notes user ID. We don't need that one. For getting the notes, we are going to get them basically from notebooks. So I'm going to remove get notes for now. And here, get note by ID. Then update the note and delete note. So we removed all the notebooks, and we need to create inside of our schema insert note. So we're going to do that here like this, and we are going to import it inside of our node from our DB schema, and that's it. So now we can create our node, get node by ID, update node, and delete node. Nice. So now let's get back to notebooks, and here inside of our get notebooks, we want this query to return also the nodes together with those notebooks. So we are going to change this query right here. We are going to use ORM in a better way. So here we are putting find many where notebooks user ID and with notes. So we are going to do the same thing with get notebook by ID. So we are always going to return all nodes together with our notebook. And now when we have this, we can actually go to our app sidebar, and here we can call our notebooks together with our nodes and put it inside of our sidebar in those accordions on the left side. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, this data, and put it inside of the component because we want to call here our notebooks. So here we can turn this function into an async function and call our notebooks from the server notebook server action. So now here we can leave this main thing maybe, or maybe we don't even need it. If we need it, we can just put in whatever we want, but let's delete all these objects that are hard-coded here, and we can put our notebooks from our database right here. So I'm putting it in, we're putting in the notebooks, and we are going to put title to be a notebook name, URL, let's just leave it like this. We're probably not going to have the some specialized URL for our notebooks, but for items, we are putting in notes, and each title is basically a node title, and URL is going to be our node ID. So this one looks good. Let's just see the error, what's happening. So it's just undefined. Okay, so we can put here probably, if nothing, just to put in the Yeah, like this, empty array. Okay, no more error. Let's see. Nice, here it is. So we have now orcs and elves inside of our sidebar, but we don't have any notes yet. And we don't want it to be an accordion when there are no notes. So these items are going to be just empty like this. Or let's see, how can we do that? Let's just find that chevron and we can remove it. Here it is. So we can put if, yes, if items length is bigger than 0, only in that case, then show this chevron icon. Okay, let's see if we have it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so it is working nicely, and we now need to create some notes in order to see it. So let's hard code one note for, let's say, orcs here. So orcs, I'm going to take this ID. Then we are going to notes, add record, and for ID, I'm just going to put in something, title test, content, it doesn't matter now, we're not going to put it, notebook ID, created that, we can put today and updated that as well. And I think here we need something, let's just put empty like this. Okay, say one change, nice. And if we go back to our project and refresh, yes, we can see now here that we have our test node inside of our sidebar. Awesome. So now we can continue with our notes creation. So we definitely need that note page. In the moment when we click this test, it is leading us to the dashboard and notebook ID and then note ID. So we are just going to put a new page, and here in the app dashboard, we're going to call it note. And then inside a new directory, that one is going to be note ID. And there inside page.tsx. So here we are going to export that note page, and we are going to search for that slug. So that one is type params, and we need to get our async param to wait it like this. Nice. And we are going to await those params. So this one is our note ID. We are passing it to our page. And now here we can get actually that note by our note ID from our server action. So this one is not assignable to the parameter of type string. It is actually in our note ID, so we can just use a spread operator like this, and we are waiting for our note ID. So now here we can just display our title to see if it is working, and here also we can call note like this, so we can get our title. Nice. So let's see if this one is actually working. We are going to our sidebar, not that one, to our app sidebar here, and our URL, our href here should be actually note and then our note ID. So let's try it out. Here I'm refreshing the screen, and we are going to our note here. So that one should open our new page, dashboard note, and we can see here that we are actually opening our note. So this is great. We just need to put in on our new page our wrapper. So here we are putting our page wrapper, and that one should, let's just import it like this. We are putting the breadcrumbs so we can return to our dashboard. And this one is going to be our note like this. Let's see if it is working. It is. So dashboard test, but our breadcrumbs are not working as they should. So here we need, after each breadcrumb, we need a breadcrumb separator, and we are going to put the fragments in order to make this work like this. Nice. So we have now the separator, but we are not going to put it in case that our index is the last one. So this one now looks good. Awesome. Let's see, why is this issue here? We have a unique key prop. Okay, so we need to put here actually our key on our fragment like this, and we can remove it from our breadcrumb item. Okay, so now this one looks good. And we have our note here. So next thing that we need to do is to insert here one good looking rich text editor. And we are going to use the rich text editor called Tiptap. This one is open source and it's really looking nice. You can see it here. So it's really awesome looking rich text editor. And to implement it, it's also really easy. So we are going here instead of the documentation to install, then Next.js, and we already have our Next.js project. We just need to install our dependencies. So we are adding these. I'm going here, pm add, and then these three, Tiptap React, Tiptap PM, and Starter Kit. And everything we need to do is just to put in the starter kit and everything is going to work for us automatically. And I found really great template here under examples, basics, default text editor, which is really looking good. So we are just going to copy this whole thing. And then we are going to create a new component. We're going to call it rich text editor.tsx. And we are going to paste in the whole thing. We are going to change it from Tiptap to rich text editor, and so here also rich text editor. Nice. So here we need some extensions. I guess we need to install them. Let's try it out. So we are going back to our terminal, pm add that extension document, then this paragraph from here, pm add paragraph, and also this text. So we are adding all three extensions like this. And we can see also that we have on updates. So we are definitely going to use this, and we are getting the JSON. So we are going to save this JSON object inside of our table. But first, let's go to our page here. And instead of the node title, we're just going to put in the rich text editor to see how does it look. So going back to our application, there it is. So it's just the basic example of the text editor. We have all the things like this bold, italic, strike code. We can use it to write whatever we want. So here we can put bold, for example, for this. And we need to remove this outline definitely. I found that one because I was using before this Tiptap. I found it. I'm going to copy it just from one of my projects. So we just need to put this inside of our globals.css. So in the end of the file, because this is available globally, the CSS, we just put this prose mirror focus outline none. And we are with that removing this outline that is really annoying. So now it is looking much better. And I think it's also looking good in light mode. Yes. So we can now here on each update, actually update our note when we are typing something. Let's go to this rich text editor. So here we need to actually pass our content if it exists, and also we need the note ID, so we know which note we need to update. So we are passing that one to our rich text editor, and here on update we are going to place if note ID, just update that note. And that one is coming from our server action notes. So here, editor JSON, that one actually needs to be our content. So here we're going to put that one to be content. Let's see what is it complaining about. So it can be undefined again. Let's go to the update node, and yes, this one needs to be partial, so we don't need to send everything all the time. And now it is working okay. So let's go here inside the content. We need to send actually content not to be this just hard coded. So I'm going to delete this entire JSON here and put actually our content. So let's see if this is working. Now we shouldn't have anything here when we refresh. Okay, it is empty. Nice. And now if I say this is my content, I don't know if this one is saved. Let's see if something is happening back here. Looks good. Okay, let's refresh. So now, okay, we are not saving anything. Let's see what's happening on our update. We are going to put here our content to be like this and console log our content to see if anything is happening. So we are going to inspect console, and when we type in something, this, nothing is actually happening. Okay, so this on update looks like it's not working. Oh, we are not passing the note ID. Okay, so we need to go here and to our rich text editor, actually pass our note ID and this content. But this is actually already a JSON. So with this one needs to be also here JSON object like this. And here we don't need to parse it. We can just send it like this, content. It can be, let's see, what is it complaining about? So JSON is missing the following properties, JSON content. Okay, so this one needs to be actually JSON content from Tiptap React, and it needs to be an array of those JSON contents. Yes, that one is good. Okay, so let's try it now. We're sending our actual note ID inside of our note, and here this needs to be as JSON content again from Tiptap React. We can handle this also in our schema, so we force it to be always the same. But let's try it now if it is actually working. So I'm going to delete everything for our console log and type in this. So we have it, okay. And now let's see if it is successfully updated. It is not yet because we have invalid content past value. So our content is not good. Let's go to Neon to see what's actually happening. I'm going to refresh and we have the content here. So it does look good, but we are probably not sending it in the right way. So we are going to send it like this. I think it needs to be inside an array. We can do it also in rich text editor here. So here we're going to put an array. I think it's going to work like this. Let's just see if it does. When I refresh, it's failing now because JSON parse is not working in the right way. Okay, let's check again the Neon here. So, oh, I see it. So here it's already type doc and content. So inside of our rich text editor, yeah. So we just need to pass the content like this. And let's try it out now. So going back and refreshing, we should get now this. There it is. Awesome. It is working. So this is saving. And each time we type something, we are actually saving. I'll now refresh. This is saving. Okay, so we need to wait actually. It's not really instant. So we definitely need some kind of debounce. We are going to implement that. So saving is working. We are updating our note and we can put here like some kind of strike, and that one is automatically working and saving back there in our backend. So now we need an ability to create a new note. So let's close this console, and we could also make this like from on the entire screen, like the width. So let's see, where do we have? Okay, we have max 2XL. Let's put it to max 7XL, like this. Nice. I think this is better. And also this should have a little bit more height, this editor content. So let's say minimum height of 96 maybe. Yeah, this one is good, and it can always be larger than that. So this one now looks better. We also need to make this heading like on their part there, on their example. Let's first create that notebook page. So here in our dashboard, I'm going to create notebook directory, and inside a new directory called notebook ID. And there I'm going to put a new page.tsx. So that one can be the same like here, our note page, but this one is going to be notebook ID here. And it's going to be notebook page. We are putting in the notebook ID, and we are getting our notebook notebook here by our ID. That one is also going to get all the notes for us. And for our breadcrumbs, we are going to put that notebook, the link to that one, its name, not title for our notebook. And here we are putting the notebook name. Awesome. So now we're going to move this note inside of this directory like this. So our URL is going to be a little bit different. So let's delete all these imports that are not used. So now in our app sidebar for our href, we are going to notebook, notebook ID, and then this note ID. So we are going back to our dashboard. And here, if we click on our test, we are going to our new URL, which is notebook, then ID, then note ID. And we can put here actually on our note page, here inside of our breadcrumbs, we can also put the link to our dashboard. So here we can just say notebook name, and we can put that notebook ID. So now our breadcrumbs are going to be different. Here it is. So we can go to our notebook, and we also have the name of our note. So now we can go back to our notebook here from our breadcrumbs, and here we can put like some small cards for each node that we have inside of our notebook. Let's create a notebook card. So I'm going to components again, and here I'm going to create a new file, and that one is going to be notebook card.tsx. So that one, we are just going to use the Shadcn card. So here I'm going to documentation card. I'm going to take here the imports and also the usage. This is definitely the easiest way for me to use Shadcn. So I'm copying here the usage. I'm going to paste it right into notebook card. We don't need this card action. I'm going to remove that because we are going to make whole card clickable. And now here we are going to create an interface. So we are here going to receive a notebook like this, and we can display just notebook name. We don't have the description. And here for our content, we could just say how many notes we have for now. And in the card footer, we're going to create a link here for our notebook to actually go and see it. And we are also going to create one button for delete. That one is going to be destructive. We can also put there trash to icon like this. That one is going to be class name size 4. Nice. Let's see what's wrong. I didn't import the trash, or I'm not closing it. Okay. And nice. So now let's just put it in on our main page. So not that one, but my main page of our dashboard. So here we have all of our notebooks, and instead of doing this, we're going to put the notebook card. And let's see if this one is working. So we're going back, going to our dashboard, and here we should get, yes. So here we have our cards, but we need there to create some kind of grid. So here I'm going to create something like this, grid calls 3, maybe it could even go to grid calls 4, like this. Yes, this one is better. We also need a little bit of gap inside with these buttons inside of our footer. So justify between, or maybe better justify and gap of 2, like this. So we put it on the right side. Yes, and let's just leave it as it is like this now. Also this create notebook, where is that actually? So dashboard, page, create notebook button. We're going to put on our button here class name of width max. So this button is not across the whole screen, so it stays here. And this notebooks h1, let's just leave it again like that. Now we are not going to work a lot on design for this thing. So we just need to make it to work, like everything needs to work to view, to delete, to edit, etc. So now we need to implement this delete functionality. We already had that one. So we are going back to our notebook card, and here I'm going to create const handle delete function, and that one is going to call delete notebook from our server actions file like this. And we are just going to say toast success, notebook deleted. We're also going to refresh. So now AI knows exactly what am I doing always for these kind of components. Now that one needs to be a client component because we added a bunch of things like state, and we are going to add state, but for this router, we need it to make it to a client component. And now we can put one try catch. So everything here should go into this try, and for our catch, we're going to put toast error failed to delete notebook. We can remove this error because we are not using it. And we can also put is deleting state. That one, we're going to put set is deleting to true on the beginning, and finally to set it as false. And now this delete button needs to be disabled when is deleting, and we're putting here on click handle delete. And here we are just going to put that loader to icon if we are deleting the notebook. So let's try it out if everything is working all right. So these elves, we are going to delete them, and notebook deleted successfully, and that one is working. Awesome. One thing that we need to add is the alert dialog. So we are going back to Shadcn, and here we're going to search for alert dialog. Here it is. So that one has actions like are you absolutely sure, and then we have these buttons. This is perfect for things like this. So I'm going to add that one to our project, adding it here, and now we're going to use it. So here I'm going to import inside of our notebook card this alert dialog, and I'm going to take the usage here and where our button is. So here I'm going to paste it, and this whole button, I'm going to paste it inside the alert dialog trigger like this. Nice. So now we can ask users, are you absolutely sure? And this action cannot be undone. This will permanently delete the notebook and all its notes. So they need to say, yes, continue. And here we're going to put handle delete. So we can remove it from this button like this. Nice. And we also want a new state is open and set is open, which we are going to put on our alert dialog. And when they actually delete the file, we are going to put set is open to false like this. Awesome. So let's try it out now again. I'm going back here. I'm going to create a new elves notebook. There it is. Created it. So now when I click delete, are you absolutely sure? This action cannot be undone. Continue. And now we actually deleted our notebook, and this is working now perfectly. Awesome. And we can now do something similar when we go to actually to this notebook right here. So we want to show all of our notes. So this notebook card, we can actually create the note card. So note card.tsx, and we are going to paste in this whole thing. So this one is going to be called note card here, and we are going to here receive actually our note, not the notebook, like this. And we are going to delete here, delete note, not notebook, note ID. So everything is basically the same. We just put in everywhere note instead of notebook. So we have note title, we have this content, but we are not going to show content. We are actually just going to show bunch of notes, and then we can just create a link to go to that note. So here we actually go to notebook and then notebook ID, and then here to note ID. So this one is good. And here, let's see, deleting. So this is going to delete the note. And now we can put this to our, let's just remove this content. We'll see what are we going to put there. So here, removing delete notebook and notebook type. So we can go to our notebook page. So that one is here, notebook ID. So we are here getting the notebook. We already have notes here, and we are just going to map through our notes in the same way. And here we are going to display all notes from our notebook right here. So there it is, our test node. If we go view, we are going to that node where we have this rich text editor. We still have to solve this header right here. This one needs to look better. So we can go back inside of our breadcrumbs to our notebook page, and here we can just make it a little bit better. Let's first finish this sidebar to change this documentation, and to add a little bit of icons. So we're going to the app sidebar, and here, instead of this documentation, let's see, where is that one actually? I don't see it here, the documentation. So here we have the collapsible and version switcher, here it is. So we can probably delete this version switcher totally. And we are here going to put just some kind of logo, and I already prepared that one. Let me just quickly put it here inside of our public. So I have here, where is it? NoteForge logo. Here it is, putting it here. It's going to look like this, and we can put it. So here, an image of NoteForge logo like this, and we are going to import image from next image. And here we are going to put the title also. So here we can put something like, I don't know what is AI creating, but I want to put an image here and to put some H2, and we're going to write here NoteForge like this. Let's see, how does it look? Looks nice. If we close it, it's closing everything. So that one is okay. And we replaced that switcher, and now we need to make this search the docs work. So it's not search form. Okay, so it is outside of this component. Let's see, how does it look? So it's search your notes like this, and here in the app sidebar we can put next to our, is it here? Yes. So next to title of our note, we're going to put that, what's it called? The icon is something like icon file. Yes, this one. So let's see, how does that one look? Yes, this is nice. So it's marking that this is actually a note. And now we need to make this search to work. To do that, we are going to use Nux, the best possible tool for search params and state management inside the URL. So this one is so easy to use. We are literally just typing in like in the use state and changing our param in the URL. So we are going to the documentation. We are going to add Nux to our project. And here, if we check the usage adapters, where it is, here it is. We search for the Next.js app router adapter, and we need to wrap basically inside the layout our children again. So we are going to put the Nux adapter here, and we are going to import it from Nux. Nice. And now if we check on the landing page, we are just going to use this use query state like in the example here. So we are going to that search thingy, search form, and here we are going to create that use query state, and this is going to be a client component, so it already is. And here on sidebar input, we are going to say value, not hello. We want here to call it actually search and set search. So here we are going to put search, and on change we are going to set search as our search param from here. Now we can test this one out. So we can go to our app, and here if we start typing OrcDev, we can see it here inside of our URL that we have search equals to OrcDev. So it is working. Now we need to use it inside of our app sidebar. So here we have our search form and we are here putting our whole filtering. So now we need to turn this whole thing to a client component. So we are going to create a new component. We're going to call it sidebar data.tsx and we are going to export it here. So we are creating sidebar data and we are going to return this from here, and we are going to put the fragments to wrap this one up like this. And now we can remove this thingy and this thingy as well. And we need this whole collapsible, so this one. We are putting it inside of our new component. We are going to put that one to be a use client like this. And we need all these sidebar groups, sidebar labels, chevron right, then this content, sidebar menu. So all of the components, we need to import them like this, and this file also from Lucid React. Nice. And now this data is actually going to come in form of a prop. So we are sending it. We don't have any more problems, and we can go back to our app sidebar and we are just going to send this data, delete everything from here. So this whole thing is going to be a sidebar data component. We are going to import it and send our data. And now here, because this is a client component, we can actually call our search. So we are calling search from Nux with use query state. What is happening here cannot be called in an async function. We are going to remove this one because this is a client component. It doesn't need to be async. It can't be async. So now we have our search and we are going to create new filter data. This is it. So here we are checking basically the title of each notebook, but we want to check also the title of our note. So something like this. Let's see if AI came up with a good thing. Notebook matches, so it's checking the title of a notebook, and note matches, it's checking the title of note, and we are receiving both. Nice. So now we just replace it with the filter data, and this one should work. So let's try it out. We are going back to our app, and we already see here that we don't have any note. I'm going to delete everything. Now we have it, and if we type orcs and then again s, it's not working. If we type test, it's working also with notes. So we have here our search working. So that one is great. If we type anything that is not related to this one, it's working. Of course, this can be a little bit smarter. We could use better search, but this is, I think, really a good start, and especially for this kind of video, because this video could take forever. So we have our search working. That's the important thing. We have on our dashboard, we have all the notebooks. So there we can go to each notebook. From there, we can go to each note. And let's first just create here a new note dialog. And when we are able to create a new note, then we are just going to fix this header here inside of our rich text editor. So here we need a button, same like inside of our notebook page. Or was it dashboard? I think it is dashboard. Yes, here. Create notebook button. So we are going to copy this thing and we are going to create a new component, create note button.tsx. And we are going to paste the entire thingy. So this one is going to be create node button. Then we need to send actually our notebook ID because we need it to know to which notebook we are going to create our note. We don't need user ID, so we can remove this part from here. And let's see what else do we need. We need content. So content is just going to be an empty string, or we can put empty object like this because our content column is actually JSON. Here we're going to create note created successfully, message failed to create note. Here just a little bit of text to change everything, and my note create. So everything looks fine. Let's go now to our notebook page. So that one is here, and we're going to put there create note button. There it is. So we have our notebook ID, and now we here have the create note button. If we click it, we have my note. So I can say new test2 note, create, and that one created us a new note. So we can now go to that one, and here we have entirely new note to right here. We should probably put the back button, but we have breadcrumbs, maybe not. So let's now fix this heading. This is the only thing that we are going to kind of vibe code. So I'm going to use v0 for this one. And I want here, so for this rich text editor, I'm going to copy this entire thing that we have, so this entire component, and I'm going to screenshot, where is it, the one, yes, this one that they have. So we want it to look same like this, and we have there all the functions and everything from Tiptap, so it's going to create something similar. So we're going to put here the image. Let's put it now from my screenshots. Here it is. And we are going to say, create this rich text editor to look like on the screenshot. Here is the component. And I'm just going to copy paste. So now v0 is going to create for us something similar. So we have that beautiful component. Okay, here it is. I just sped it up a little bit, and I had 3 versions. So now we have this heading that is looking much better, and we can just copy and paste this entire rich text editor component. So I'm going to paste it in here. We don't have any errors, so let's see how does it look. Going here, I think this one looks much better than before, and if we go to light mode, it also looks like good in light mode. So we can test here and put like this is my heading, and we can put bold on this heading here. Nice. And we can put here, let's say, test, and to put there italic. Nice. So this one is working really nicely. That's a good thing. If we refresh, let's see if this one is still saving. It's not saving. Okay, so v0 removed for us the on update. Let's just here do size 8 instead of this one. So let's see on update this content. Okay, so he just commented this update note because he doesn't have that one. It's a good thing that we tested it. So now if I say again, this is the test, and I put this to bold, and I refresh, this is the test. We again have that problem with debouncing. That's probably when I write like too fast, but we're not going to solve it in this video. I'm going to create a debounce video for that one. So this one is now looking much better, and it is working. It's really looking awesome. Let's now make it more beautiful. So we need to apply some nice theme, and I'm going to use for that TweakCN. This is definitely the best way to create theme for your ShadCN project. So here we have a bunch of themes that we can use that are predefined, and we can also create our own themes with AI. But I'm just going to take this Vercel theme. I think this is going to be the best for this kind of app because we want our eyes to feel good and not to have some bright colors and something like that. So we are just going here to code. Here we put this inside of our globals.css. So I'm going here, globals.css, and instead of this whole root and this dark, I'm just going to paste it in, overwrite all these things. And now if we return to our app here, we have totally different feeling. So it's a little bit more black and white, and I think it's especially looking better in light mode. And it is probably changing a little bit also our landing page. It's a little bit darker here in dark mode, and in light mode, let's see. Yeah, it looks, I think, really nice. And we can now here also change all these things. This tail arc, we need to put inside, so that's the header instead of tail arc. Where is that tail arc thingy? It is, let's see, is it that logo? Probably, yeah, this one. So here, instead of, I cannot find tail arc, let's search it. Oh, that's actually the image. Okay, that's good to know. So I'm going to, inside the header, instead of this logo, I'm just going to put my image. So here, like this, putting in the NoteForge logo.png. And here, I think this 100 is a little bit too much. Let's see how does it look. Oh, okay, maybe it's not. So let's put that 100 like AI said. That's okay. So let's put 60. That's probably the best. Yeah, this one is nice. And we are going to write here also NoteForge like this. Nice. So this one is looking okay. We can remove all these links. We are not using any of it. So here also this button. What is this button actually? I don't know. It's some kind of set menu state. Okay, this one is for the mobile view. And here we have all of our links. I'm going to remove that div from here. So we don't need that one. So all these menu items can be deleted. Or we can just actually here remove all these menu items and leave it empty. So that way we can maybe put something in future. So we removed it also in the mobile view. That one should be removed. Yes, so we have here only login and sign up. So let's now make this mod toggle a little bit better here. So why is this complaining? Let's see. Okay, because of the type. So now let's search for the mod toggle, and here we're going to put the class name. Oh, we don't have the class name. Interesting. So this button actually needs to be size. No, that one. Oh, it is already size icon. Okay, but it is too big. Let's put here on our landing page the one that I'm using in 8-bit-cn. So this small one here. So I'm going to open 8-bit-cn, and there we have that mod switcher. This one. I'm just going to copy paste it and put it inside of the components. So this is the component that I also took from Shadcn, from the GitHub repository of Shadcn. So I'm going to call it mod switcher.tsx and paste it here. And now here in our header, we can just put that mod switcher instead of the mod toggle. Let's see how does it look. Yeah, this one is definitely much better for our landing page to change our theme. And now here we need some screenshot. So where are we going on start forging? We don't have that one yet. So that one is our hero section. Start forging needs to go to our dashboard. And what is see it in action? We can remove that one for now, because we don't have something like that. Okay, just start forging. That one goes to the dashboard. Nice. So we can go back. Here we need a screenshot. We're going to make that one later. Then here, get started. These are the call to action. So we are going again to the dashboard and see it in action. We are going to remove it. Get started. Nice. And now here in our footer, we are going to remove probably everything from here. Yes, we are just going to leave so this part goes away. Logo is going to be the image. And it's also going to be here the NoteForge text. Then all these links go away. So these are the social icons, and we can just leave this NoteForge all rights reserved. Okay, nice, except this needs to look better. So it needs to be flex and item center. So we have here block. I'm going to remove that. NoteForge, it's okay, I guess. We could maybe just leave this in the end, but let's just leave it like this. It's not perfect, but it's better than to have some false things. So now we need to actually go to our dashboard and make some kind of screenshot. So it's best probably to create a screenshot of some nice looking note. So I prepared this text that I'm just going to screenshot. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this in light mode, and I'm also going to take a screenshot in dark mode for the dark mode there, like this. Nice. So now we can go back to our, look, this one is not working. We need to put this into a link. Okay. So let's just go to the localhost 3000. So here we need to put, in case it's dark mode, we need to put this image here. So let me just take it from my screenshot. So this one is light and this one is dark. I'm putting it inside of the public here. And now inside of our hero section, we are searching for the image. There it is. So we need here is this one. This is for the dark. So that one is dark and this one is light. Let's see, how does it look? Oh my God, this is looking even better than I imagined. Okay, so this one is nice. Let's search for light. Amazing. I cannot believe it that I did it from the first time like this. Awesome. So now I think we are ready to deploy. Let's check first if we have any lint errors. I saw them a moment ago in there in the code editor. So we have in app sidebar a bunch of unused things. Let's go there. App sidebar, that's because we moved everything to a new component. So we are deleting all the things that we are not using. Okay, nice. Then we have the create node button. Create node button, that one. So create notebook, auth client, and also footer. We removed that logo and these links. I can also just delete them. I can always take from tail arc if I need it. And that should be it. PM lint. Awesome. Let's go git status. We have a bunch of files that we added. So git add everything, git commit m, and I'm really curious what is cursor going to give us here for our commit message. So let's see it, generate, and he's going to say, let's just say this, add initial project structure with authentication, database schema, and UI components. Good enough. Push. And what is happening? Git push origin does not appear to be a Git repository. Git remote version. So I didn't add actually our Git. Okay. So I'm going back to Git. Here I'm searching for NoteForge. And we need to put in this remote origin. Okay. Now git status and git push origin head. We are going to push everything to our repository. There it is. It is here. Awesome. And let's try to run one pm build to see if it's going to work. This is important because when we now deploy it to Vercel, it can be broken, although we have our lint going through it. So let's see if we have any problems. Linting and checking. So yes, we have the problem with the animated group in the hero section that I saw. Let's fix that thing. So here we have this problem with variance, and here also with this same thing. So let's just fix it in chat with cursor. And I think that's just to put somewhere as string or something like that. So that should probably be a quick one. And yeah, it's the issue, the type. Oh no, spring, not string. Okay. So accept, and we have it now. No, we don't have any more errors. Okay. So let's try to run one more time pm build. And while the build is building here, you shouldn't touch anything and save inside the code editor because it's going to ruin the build. And reset password, usage params should be wrapped in a suspense boundary. Okay, so that's, what's the component again? Reset password. Let's see which one is that. Oh, that's the page actually, reset password. This one. So we need to put their usage params inside the boundary. Where is usage params? Here. So we are going to put here suspense from React. We can put it inside the server component as well. So now if we build again, okay, let's see if it's going to work this time. Now we shouldn't have any errors anymore. So compiled successfully, linting and checking validity of types, collecting page data. Awesome, it works. So we can now deploy this project. Let's go to Vercel. So this has internal server error because we need to restart the dev environment. So here I'm going to add a new project, and that one is going to be NoteForge from my GitHub. And we need to add all of our environment variables. So I'm going to add it now. You're not going to see it. So I have a bunch of resend and all the things from database, etc. So I added all the environment variables and I can press deploy. And now our deployment is coming. I'm also going to buy the NoteForge.dev domain, and we are going to assign that domain to our Vercel account here. So now we can see here the build logs and what is actually happening with our build, and everything should go smoothly because we ran pm build. And if we have any errors, it's going to be because of the environment variables, because I placed the next public URL to be actually NoteForge.dev, and we don't have that domain assigned yet. So let's see if this build is going to run through smoothly. Everything is compiled successfully in 34 seconds. And now it is linting and checking validity of types, collecting page data. Let's see if it's going to work. So there it is, looks like it's working, and we should have our project live in a couple of seconds, collecting build traces. Build completed. There it is. It's deploying outputs, and we should now get our public domain for our project, and then we can assign domain for us. There it is. Congratulations. You just deployed the new project to OrcDev, and we can now go here. So we have NoteForge 7 Vercel.app. So now we can go back to my Vercel account. Here we can go on domains, buy a domain, and we can buy NoteForge. So here NoteForge.dev is available. I'm going to buy that one. I would show you how am I buying it, but I have to put in my SMS in my phone, and I'm recording this video with my phone. So I'm going to buy it now, and then I'm going to continue recording the video. There it is. I bought it. We can now go to my domains. So we can see here, if I refresh, NoteForge.dev. So that one is bought. And we can go now to my projects, here to NoteForge, settings, here domains. And we are going to add a domain. That one is going to be, where is it? NoteForge.dev, like this. And we are going to save. So now domain is added to our project, and they're generating SSL certificate and everything that is needed for us in order to put the project on our domain. And there it is, the configuration and everything is validated. So we can now go to NoteForge.dev and we have here our new application up and running. So we finished everything. Of course, we can add here a bunch of new stuff. And also now what is left is to put in inside of our Google console the new NoteForge.dev. So let's do that one actually to finish up everything. So we have that in the better or documentation. We have so many tabs opened. I don't even know where to. So here it is, Google Cloud Console. So we are going back here and we have NoteForge and let's see credentials, then our NoteForge here. And we just need to add exactly the same one, but with the HTTPS noteforge.dev and add this one to our Google Cloud Console. Nice. So now if we get back to our noteforge.dev, we can here sign up and we can use Google. So this one should now work. Yes. And we can now open our new account and it is working live in our noteforge.dev domain. I really hope you enjoyed in this video. This is something new to me. I never created these long videos like Antonio, and this project is not perfect. Of course, we could work a lot on the UX, on new features, on all the things that we have here in our dashboard. I'm going to work on it definitely on my YouTube channel in future. I'm going to add new features. We need something here. I was thinking about something for passwords to have, like if you save some password to stay safe, even in the database that I cannot read it from Neon. And there are a bunch of features that we could add. I would love to hear your opinion. And if you could put in the comments, what would you like to see in this kind of project? And for more content like this, join the mighty Horde, subscribe.